Good evening, everyone. A quick sound check. Am I audible? Thank you, guys. We'll start the session in a bit. We'll just wait for rest of them to join in. Give me a minute. So it was a big day in both Nifty futures and Bank Nifty futures today. So we'll start with a quick roundup of what happened today, and then we'll dwell deep into the uh, today's topic, which is market profile and the important features we have on the market profile charts at VTrender. So we have the Nifty futures chart on the left side and the Bank Nifty futures on the right side. So as we can see, both of them opened higher today, and the open type in both was an open auction out of range. So whenever we are opening higher, we need to get confirmation of demand coming in, else that open gets negated, and the other party will take advantage of that, which is precisely what happened today. We opened higher and we did not get any fresh demand which was coming, and which was made use of fully used by the sellers who came in very strongly right from the open, and they kept keeping the pressure up all day. So we had a trend day down in both Nifty futures as well as Bank Nifty futures. So I'll quickly just go through the Nifty first. What happened in Nifty? We'll split this chart. We opened higher. We had formed a 2-day composite. 28th of January was a forced working session, and we had a selling tail from that session. So you can see we had a nice 2-day balance of 19th and 20th, and we opened above that value and the composite high. So we did not get any demand there, and this reference was from the trend day of 17th Jan. We had good selling references from the 17th profile of Nifty futures. I'll just pull down the chart so that we can. Yeah. So we have these references marked in our daily report, and 217681 was one important business area on the upside for the day for today, which was the weekly VWAP. We also follow the weekly time frame, and previous week was a elongated profile we had in Nifty futures, where we made new highs as well as new lows for the series. So the VWAP of that particular profile, which was as 21768, was the reference for us as we opened this calendar week. Because yesterday was a holiday, we were opening this week only from today. So that 21768 was our reference, and it was very much likely that we were expecting last week sellers to come back in this zone, because we had good proof of last week sellers booking profit when we made that low at 21316. So after that, we got a good bounce back to the 21759 last Saturday, and then today we made a lookup above that, but we did not get any fresh demand. So then those sellers came back, and they came back very strongly. They left a small AP rate selling tail and then an extension handle at the start of the BP rate. After this, what happened was we got into the composite, and then we got into the composite value. So we have something, a concept called as the 80% rule, which works very well in market profile, especially in well balanced areas. So what we did, the CP rate just swiped through previous value and it went on to make new lows. It even broke the lows of this composite. So it was very clear that the selling was something which was not a small affair, but a big institution was into this, and it could also be the case of multiple players getting into shorts. So we left an extension handle in the start of the B period, then we left an extension handle at the start of the C period. C period is something which we take a little bit apprehensively, considering that it is known to give a contra move most of the time. But that was not the case today. It was a huge, big seaside, and immediately after seaside, we made a lower low in the D, which was the confirmation that this is a trending day ahead. So all of us were only looking for shorts and long. We did all the trades we took today in the room was long puts. So we continued to make lower lows. We went back into this 18 January profile. We tagged the VPOC of this profile. I'll just, which was a 21469, and we continued. And this was a trend day without any meaningful pullback. We never got any meaningful pullback till this J period. This J was that afternoon pullback we all have in a trend day, and this is what we wait for. And J period is known just like the C period to give a contra move, and we look to make most out of that. So this was actually not a pullback high, but the J period did try to go higher. It stopped right at the halfback of the hedge period. So the halfback references which we have on these market profile charts are important levels when you are getting a good move in the TPO in the 30-minute time frame, because this hedge period was a good red bar on the downside. The halfback of this hedge period, which is at 21372, was an important level to watch. We also have the VWAP and the POC of the TPOs, which also we take as important levels uh, on the upside or downside, depending on how the auction is playing out on that day. So once the K period again made a extension, it was very clear that we are going to close at lows, and where those lows would be could be anyone's guess, because on a trend day the auction does not respect any levels or any references. It just keeps falling, and it has got only one objective of closing at the lows, which is what we did. We went on to make a low of 21155, I think, and there was a very small bounce into the close, which was obviously profit booking by the shorts, considering that the huge move we had from 21,780 to 21150. So this was a huge trend day down in Nifty futures, and our reference, because this is a trend day down, our reference for the coming day would be the VWAP of this day, which is at 21458. This would be our swing reference for the rest of the series. We only have 2 more days left in the January series, but this would be our main reference. And because the POC of today is still at the top, so we can still expect more downside to come in the coming 2 sessions of this expiry. So this is for the, as for the Nifty futures. Coming to the Bank Nifty also we had an higher open, and Bank Nifty was the more bullish of the two when we opened, because of the ICICI results and whatever post market news was there. And also on Saturday we had one FA here in Bank Nifty. So you can see these references which are being marked in the market profile chart. I will come to these references a bit later when I cover the individual charts of Nifty futures and Bank Nifty futures, and see and also explain how we can make use of this. So we have this dotted line marked out, which is the FA at lows, and we also had an FA last week on the 19th at this level, which was 46337. So you can see how we take the mouse over the reference and we can get all those levels. This was a T+2 today, and we negated this FA because we opened higher. We opened well above this, But what it did was 17th of January was a trend day. So if I just pull down this profile, it should be the volume based. Always we look at the volume based chart always when it comes to futures, because that is where we get the uh, apt references. So we have the 17th of January's profile on the extreme left, and you can see this is the POC of that profile, which is at 46460. Today's open was right there. We made a high of 46500 plus, I think, but we did not get any demand. So it was getting rejected from this VPOC. So in market profile, we give lot of importance to POCs which have not been tagged. In future, when the auction is going in that direction, those are the probable objectives of that move. And what happens at that POC will give you the next direction, next cue for the next direction. So if we would have got accepted here and we would have got some IBs, you can see if we take the mouse over there, we can get maximum volumes in 5 days. So this was also the maximum volume which was played out. So this was an important reference, and it was very apt for the sellers to come back here, because considering last week, even in Bank Nifty, it was a neutral extreme week down. So this trend day VWAP, which has been shown with the green dotted line. So this shows up on the market profile line charts on the continuous futures, because they are important references. It also tells you on which day it was, and what is the level. So whenever we come back to this level, we become extra alert in case we are against this direction, and we'll look for confirmation to get back into the trend. So today's open, we got rejected right from the POC. So it was very clear that there is no demand coming in, and the upside is limited in Bank Nifty. After which, what happened? We left this AP rate single. We Similar to Nifty, we left extension handles as soon as the BP rate started, and we got back into this. If you see the Bank Nifty profiles, the last 3 days, you can see we have formed double inside bars and value is overlapping. So what we do is we make a composite of the charts which have overlapping POC, or easy for us to understand with respect to that composite what is the auction trying to do. So here you can see this was the 3-day composite which it got back, and this was the 3-day value which it got back in the BP rate today. And once it got back into that value, it never came back out of it. So it was very clear that it is going to complete the 80% rule in this composite, which was the low of this, and which it did in the CP rate itself, because both Nifty and Bank Nifty futures, the CP rate today was a strong one, where we continue to see big volumes coming in. So after this, what happened? It went on to break the composite lows, the previous week lows, and this was also the series lows so far. And we left another extension handle there. And we got the POC here with some good volumes. So this was becoming our fresh base, from where the sellers continue to add in aggressively. And how we know they were adding aggressively? Because we were making lower lows on all TPOs. We did have this pullback high in the GP rate, but it was not able to do much. And you can see, as I said, halfback of the TPO, which has given you a good move, is an important reference to see how the auction is doing. And this was never tagged. So this pullback high was a fresh signal that the trend is still very clearly to the downside. So in fact, when we broke this GP rate lows in the J, this would be our TSL for holding shots into the close. So what happened was, we went on to make new lows of 44840, I think, and we completed the 3IB mark of 44904, which is one very important profit booking level. On intraday basis, whenever we are seeing the 3IB getting completed, we immediately book out. So which is why we can see from this level, we got a very good bounce to this 45100, although into the close, we came back lower. So this both Nifty as well as Bank Nifty gave us elongated profiles in 10 days down, and we will have important references which will come out in our daily report, which goes later, and before and so that we can make use of those in the next session. So coming to today's day, how could we trade them on options? So I'll just quickly run through couple of option charts. We have this option table where we can open any option chart with on Nifty futures or Bank Nifty futures with one click. So when in the morning I'll just close, yeah. So when in the morning, I'll start with the Nifty so that we can see how we can take trades and how we can take the market profile references using the option charts. So we opened at 21,700, and 21,700 spot was an important reference. So which was also seen in the spectrum. So I'll start with opening the 21,700 call option chart. Because we opened higher, we would need to see how the market profile chart of this looked at the open. So what do we see here? We opened Nifty futures with new highs. We in fact uh, got above the highs we made on Saturday, but the call option here clearly showing us that it is not wanting to get above this high of 20th. So this itself was a very good sign that it could be because of premium coming down, but whatever the case was, this market profile chart of the call option was not giving us any confidence in spite of the higher open to take a long position. So immediately when and it never got back above previous value also. So when we are not, and in market profile we look at value, we trade value, we don't trade price. So when something is not able to get above previous value, we know that that is not a candidate for going long. So after this, what happened? We left this extension handle and we swiped lower. So at this time, we also can look at the 21,700 put chart so that after once the initial balance is complete, you see for some opportunities in the put chart of how the market profile shows us what is the opportunities. And at the same time, I will also explain how we can look for the objectives in a option chart, in just a market profile option chart. So here you can see on the call option, we made poor highs in the A and B period, and we are not able to take out the previous highs, which was the Saturday highs. So whereas in the put option, we opened lower. So we did break below the 20th January's lows. So that also was something because of the premium which was coming, because we had a holiday. Monday was an unexpected holiday. So the premium had to come down. We only have 2 more days for expiry. So but what it did was it took support at this VPOC. This was the lowest level in this 21,700 put. So this was at 56 and the VPOC was at 100 sorry, this VPOC was at 69, 68.9. So when, as I mentioned earlier, these POCs which have not been visited serve as important support or resistance, and they are objectives of that move in the direction. So what we saw in Bank Nifty futures on the upside, where we stalled right at the VPOC of 46460 of 17th January, you can see here 16th of January, VPOC of 68.9. This put option of 21,700 took support right at that level. So even this was not a signal to go long here, but it is giving us that cue that this is holding. So 69 becomes our reference. And then when we make new highs in the B period, we leave an extension handle here. It gives us all the more confirmation that this put is ready to look to go long. And what happened next was it took out this selling tail of the 20th in the B period. So this range extension, initial balance range extension, was another level where we could look for a long trade in this put option. And this VWAP in options, we give lot of importance to VWAP of sessions where it has formed value higher than the current value. So this was an important reference, and once this 145 broke, it was very clear that any writing which had come in this option was under water on this day. So we went on to trend higher in this put. And how we can take the objective is, we have this initial balance, we have the 2IB mark. You can see on the market profile charts, 184 was the 2IB level, which is one profit booking reference for us. And then we have the 3IB at 242. So what we can do, and in case we feel that this is going to give us more, we can just trail the stop losses of that of the remaining positions to the previous level. So once we got about this 3IB, we could have taken this 242 as our trailing stop loss. And further objective is how we find in a market profile chart is these VPOCs. This was a VPOC which was not visited, 287, and this again was the VWAP of that day, 317. So these were the probable targets. And then we also have the SG bands which keep expanding when the day's move is happening. So you can see this SG band, 2SG band is come up to 425. So in live markets, if these bands keep expanding, that is giving you the indication that you can expect more out of that. In case the band stop moving and the auction stalls right at that band, it is time for you to book out and look for your next opportunity. So this was what happened in the 21,700 put, and you can see this was another VPOC right from, we'll have to figure out the date, but 521 was that unvisited VPOC which got tagged into the close. So this is how we can track these uh, objectives of the particular options. Also, I'll talk about one more important feature we have on our market profile charts, wherein you can add custom key reference levels, KRL, custom key reference levels. So I'll just, and how do you add them? You can add them at important places. For example, either at a swing high or a swing low of of a daily time frame. So here we saw on the 18th, it made this big high of 444, and then it left a big tail. So it was a swing high. So this 18th of January was a nice place to put in that anchored VWAP. So what I'll do is I'll just click on this profile, right click, create custom KRL. So I hope everyone is on board. I'm just showing one small example of how we can use this anchored VWAP and the SG bands on any instrument. Right now I'm doing that on a 21,700 put option. So 20, so the description is the swing high. We have the date already there, 18th of Jan. So anchored VWAP, and I'll select this thick dashed line, and color would be red because this is from the upside. So, and I do save. So what I'll get is I'll get the anchored VWAP in this option from the 18th of January. So how this will help us, I'll just tell you. So before we open today, so this was our anchored VWAP reference, 155. So from a swing high or a swing low, when you're following a anchored VWAP on any instrument, it can be Nifty futures, it can be Bank Nifty futures, that will serve as one key level. And what happens at that level will give you the further insight of what you can uh, do. When this anchored VWAP was taken out, it was a double confirmation that you need to be long on this put option. So this is one very important feature which you can use extensively. In fact, we can even add custom KRLs. I will show you the example in a bit of that. We can, in case you have some references which you have marked out separately on any of the option chart or the future chart, you can add them onto any chart by using the add KRL, create custom KRL option. So coming back to this put option, so we saw it completed this 2SD band up and it went on to tag this VPOC of 525. So these were all very important booking points. So here we know that the option is going to close at the highs, and we book out. Uh, we are not carrying forward. So, but for tomorrow, in case we trade the same instrument, these would be our references. Although we would not trade this because now it is too deep into the money, we will go in for a closer option. Like 21,400 put would be the better strike to trade tomorrow based on the open. So, but this is how we take references for tomorrow would be the VWAP and the POC of this plus any extension handle we have left here. And if you can make the halfback of today's day, today is a trend day. So halfback of trend days are important. So this 312. So although we are way above that level, but these will serve as important references tomorrow. In case we get a bounce, this will be the reference to watch out for and look for a re-entry into this move. Because the move which has happened today and the initiative selling which we have seen today is not something which can get reversed in a couple of sessions. So definitely we will have more weakness and any bounce could see some more selling coming back. So this is as for the put option. So this is how we look at what option we need to trade and we accordingly take. I'll quickly just open one of the Bank Nifty option chart so that we see how we could have taken a trade in the Bank Nifty. So we opened Bank Nifty at 46,500. So I'll just open the 46,500 call chart profile chart and the put and see if what trading opportunities we had in that. So this is the 46,500 call option chart. So as you can see, we did open above the highs of 28th, but we have left an A period buying selling tail here. So it was definitely not a option which you would look for going on the long side. And in fact, it was a very good option to go short once we broke this VWAP of previous day, which was as early as the BP rate. So this 204 was an important reference. So, and we have left an extension handle right at that place. So this 204 break was a good shot with the stop loss above the highs of today when we are entering. And then we could trail that as and when we are getting fresh references in this particular call option. So I'll open the 46,500 put now and see what trading opportunities we were getting in that only looking at the market profile chart. I'll just increase the TPO size just for us to make it, because today was the huge day and we don't get these kind of days very often. So, but the generally the default TPO is the best to have. So it is better to have it at default. So I'm just changing it now today so that we can have a better view of the auction. So here we can see we opened lower and we got back into this previous day's range and we have tagged this POC. So here you see the POC is right at the bottom in this. So market profile is the POC is giving you the highest volumes. So when the POC is at the lows and the market is going higher, you know you have initiative buyers who have taken control at this level. And as long as this POC is holding or not shifting to the top, this auction is headed on the upside. So the references, as I said, the POC and the VWAP of previous day and any other untagged VPOCs which you have would be the references, because Bank Nifty was making new lows today. So this 18th January high of 1150 in this was giving an extension handle. So it was very clear that it is looking for a big move ahead, and it went on to almost, I think, more than double from there. So just using market profile, we can see the structure of this put and we can see how it is only showing us to take long trades in this put option. So this is how we look at market profile charts of options and then take trades. I'll now come to the Nifty futures chart and show you what all lines are there apart from the market profile references which are printed on every day. For example, the value area, high value area, low VWAP, and the POC are all market profile references. Apart from this, we also have these markers. Example, 16th of January, we had this FA in Nifty futures at 22138, from where we started that entire move down. So this has been captured here. You can see this dotted line. If you take the mouse over that, you can see what the level was and on which day it was, and current day is how much time has passed from that particular session. So we were at T+5 today, and this FA had already completed the 280R objective on the downside in that huge gap down we had the very next day. So this is one important reference, and then we have the POC of this day which was not tagged. So this pink line continues to extend further on the right side to tell us that this is one unvisited POC. So similarly, we gap down here, so that is the reason this was also a unvisited VPOC, but it was taken off in a gap down. So although the line is still showing, technically we have broken below this. So then you can see we have these brown lines which are the HVN lines. In a day we get volumes on at many levels where we have high volumes and many levels where we have low volumes. So which is why it is important to see the market profile chart with the volume profile, so that we can figure out where the high volumes came in, and wherever we have good volumes, as good volumes as compared to the POC, the uh, levels are marked with this brownish band. So you can take the mouse and see what this is. This is a HVN, so it becomes an important reference. And this was the trend day VWAP of 17th, which was a 21721. So these are the levels on the charts you have. Apart from this, on the daily, we have the 2 standard deviation bands which are getting marked. You have the halfback of the trend day, which is an important reference. This is exactly where we stalled on the 19th and left one more FA. So not sure. I'll just refresh this chart because so yeah. So here, apart from this, you can also see these initiative selling singles and buying singles on the profile chart. So you see this yellow dotted line here. If you take your mouse over this, you can see reversal A singles at top. So this 21719 is showing us there was initiative selling on this day. Similarly, if you go lower, you can find, because we have broken the lows. Yeah. So this is the 21st December profile, and you can see this initiative selling at 21120. So we have this line which is extended and which we can see even now, because for tomorrow, because we made a low of I think 21150 today. So this reference can stand out. So these are important right here. See, you have this 21120, and this is coming from that 21st December buying tail. So this is how we can make use of these important uh, reference lines which are already marked, which automatically show up. Plus, we can also add reference lines to this. So for example, we made a swing high in Nifty on the 15th. So what we do is we add an anchored VWAP once that swing high is confirmed. So we already saw how we need to add the anchored VWAP, and I'm just doing that again. Right click, create custom KRL, anchored VWAP, and the 2SG bands. The date is right, and we select the kind of line we want to display. And because this is coming from the top, I'll again go for a red line and click on save. So from a swing high, whenever we are moving forward, to know if those sellers from that day are still holding fort, we can look at this anchored VWAP as our reference. So we can see the anchored VWAP on the 20th was at 21723, where we got rejected. Today we opened higher, but once we broke back below this, there was no looking back. So this is a very important tool which we can use. And I'll also show the same thing on a Bank Nifty profile chart. So in Bank Nifty, you can see this was the FA which we left last week on 16th, which was at 48440. So this was also a swing high and it came very close to this selling tail. 5th of January also was one swing high where we had this A period selling tail 485602, 48615 or something, I think. So this was the swing high, and here again we could have one anchored VWAP running from the new reference and see how what is the bounce which we can look for in the Bank Nifty. So this anchored VWAP is a very important tool, and it helps us to have an idea of what the bigger trend is doing. So you can see here this anchored VWAP from that day, from the day of FA, was at 46337, and this was right the place where we got that FA also. So in MarketProfile, it is giving us the double confirmation that this is an important level. And today's selling tail was right at this level. The B period high could not get back above this, and we already had that rejection of this. Sorry. And we can see this 10-day VWAP of 17 still holding high. This was one important reference on the upside. So as soon as we broke back below this, it was again a very good signal that the PLR, the path of least resistance of the day, was to the downside. So this is how then we look at the next references. As I already showed you, we combined these 3 days because they were forming overlapping value, and we can take the composite value as our reference and see what the auction is doing, showing you that it wants to move away from that value as it did with that extension handle in E. You know that the downside is going to continue. So this is how we can make use of these lovely features which we have on the charts. And as I mentioned, you also have the option of having custom KRLs. So custom KRLs, you can just, and these KRLs you can do only on the previous chart. You cannot create any KRL on the current live chart. So when you do custom KRL, even if you don't want to select any of these, you just select this as custom. You type out your level and you put in the description and you save it. You can select the type and the color and then you do it. I'll just show you how I use those references on the higher time frame. So I have the Nifty spot and the Bank Nifty spot monthly chart. So this is the monthly chart. So, and you can see how I have used those custom KRLs. So when the first custom KRL I made for this month was the rollover point of January, which is a 21930. So this is the spot chart. Then it is showing you what it does, what spot is doing when it tags that rollover point. What have we done? We have left a selling tail. So it is very clear that it is getting rejected at the rollover point. And then we have this yellow line which is coming out, which is the POC of December 21377. And this is the VWAP of December, which is 21219. So this is how it helps to see what is happening at these custom levels. And the first time we tagged this POC of December, we left a responsive buying tail. This monthly chart does not have today's chart in the profile, which is why you can still see this single and this VWAP is still not been tagged. But if I shift to the right, now you can see that how we have again broken this POC and we have tagged this VWAP, which will be an important reference going forward. Late in the evening, once we have that update from NSE, this will get merged into this monthly and then we'll have a new monthly chart. So which will show us a close below this POC for the first time in January, which is not a good sign. And this would be the last level holding, the VWAP of 21226. If we remain below this tomorrow, then we can expect more downside. So this is how we can make use of these custom KRL levels. I'll quickly show the Bank Nifty levels. Bank Nifty spot, you can see the roller point is at 48900, which was not at all been tagged in spot. These are the future levels. We mark the rollover point based on the last day of expiry. So when 29th or 28th December was the expiry, when the January series was getting active, we had the highest volumes at this level. So this 48,900 was never seen in January, and we went on to break below this POC of December, which was at 47,918, and then we broke below the VWAP also, which was at 447,337. So this is how you can make use of this important feature on any time frame, any chart you you wish to. So this is all that we have for today. Any questions about today's session? As it was basically to guide on how we can use the market profile nuances to take trades and look for opportunities in live markets. The the VWAP, the 2SG band levels are important objectives. So once you are in a trade and it is hitting the 2 SG band, it is a very good profit booking level. So any more questions anyone has, I can answer them before we can wind up. So I'll quickly also show one chart where we use the market profile and order flow side by side. So we have this feature where you can split the screen into two. We have the two time frame. So what we do is we have the market profile chart on one side, and then we have the order flow chart on the other side. And another option to use the 30-minute order flow chart and the 3-minute order flow chart, because the 30-minute order flow chart gives us the bias of the market, and we want to trade in that bias, and the 3-minute charts will give us fine-tuned entries and exits. Yeah, the rollover point is the reference on expiry day when we have the highest volumes of trades. So we have the highest volumes of trades on 28th Am I audible, guys? Okay, thank you, thank you. I'm not sure how that happened. So, yeah, I was telling that at WeTrender we always suggest to use both market profile and order flow because it is a lethal combination, and which is what we do in the trading room. And we also advise even our WeTrender chat members to follow the same. So because market profile is giving you the structure, it is giving you the references, and order flow is giving you the pulse. It shows you what exactly is happening at that level. So I'll just quickly show the 30-minute order flow charts of today in Nifty futures and have it side by side with the profile chart so that we can see how even the order flow is showing us that confirmation. So as we can see, A period we did not get much demand. You can see the zeros at the top on 30 minutes, and we have formed these RS bars on both. The POC is shifted to the top in both the bars A and B. And then when we have broken the period A period low, this VWAP of B period becomes our first reference, 21723, which is that old selling reference we had from the trend day. So it is reconfirming our short bias. And as we move forward, the C period POC becomes the reference. So order flow at every step, order flow will keep giving us that confirmation. And then you can see we have formed this IS bar on the 30 minutes, which gives you a fresh signal. And we were talking about this pullback high in the G 580 where it stalled. In fact, even in the room when we were live, we were mentioning about this level showing change of polarity. So from this level, we fell another 400 points into the close. So this is how we make use of both order flow and market profile. And this you can see this 9757 seller here, right at 21555. So this was a huge seller, and this is where we could identify in order flow. If not for order flow, we would never be able to see the se- amount of selling which happened here. And no wonder we had that huge fall because volumes precede price, and if you are getting volumes, automatically the range will keep expanding. So you see 34,000 contracts on a 30-minute uh, bar is huge, is very big. So this is how we make use of this, and you can make use of this two window mode. You can have the 30-minute order flow on the right side and the 3-minute on the left side, and then accordingly take trades. And you can do this with option charts. As I showed the option market profile chart, same thing, you can have an option order flow chart also open and look at taking trades in that. So any other queries, guys, I would be happy to answer, else we'll wind up. So do look at making best use of these features which are available, especially the anchored VWAP, the reference levels which are automated by the chart, because already gives you the reference of important days. So you make use of that and make sure that you don't miss out on those levels. Fine, guys. So thank you for joining in. We want to continue sharing these little bit of information based sessions so that all of us can benefit and keep growing in this market. So thanks for listening in. That's it from my side for now. Signing off, and let's catch up soon.